The funniest doctor jokes. A doctor made a mistake and prescribed laxatives to his patient who had a cold. When the doctor realized his mistake, it was too late. The doctor called the patient and asked,
Are you still coughing?
The patient answered, I am still sick, but I am afraid to cough. Let's continue with another doctor's joke. An old man went to the doctor and told him that he is ashamed of passing gas in closed spaces. The doctor asked,
How often does this happen?
The man answered, roughly 30 times an hour. The doctor suddenly ran to the next room and returned with a huge broomstick. The patient asked, What the hell are you gonna do with that? The doctor responded,
Oh, I'll just use this to open all the windows.
Are you ready for another doctor's joke? A patient who was injured in an accident had to go through surgery. A day after the operation, the doctor came to his room and said,
I have good news and bad news.
Tell me the bad news first, the patient said.
The bad news is we amputated the wrong leg.
The doctor responded. The patient then asked, What is the good news, doctor? And the doctor said,
The good news is we just got the lab results, and there was no need for the amputation. So, no more surgeries.
Please make sure to subscribe so that you can laugh this much every day. There was a famous painter who had lost his vision. He went to an eye doctor, and the doctor managed to cure his eyesight after a series of surgeries. To show his appreciation to the doctor, the artist painted a huge eye on the wall of the doctor's office. A local journalist wanted to make a news story about this and asked the doctor, What was your first reaction? The doctor answered,
I thanked God that I am not a proctologist.
An old woman was visiting the doctor and told him about having silent farts that didn't smell or bother people. She said, As a matter of fact, I just farted 3 times in your office, and I am sure you didn't even notice. The doctor said,
Just take these pills and come back later.
2 weeks later, the old lady came to the doctor's office and said, Doctor, the farts didn't stop at all. What is worse, now they stink like hell. The doctor said,
The pills were actually for your nose, and it looks like your nose is fixed. Now, please try these hearing aids.
Here is a bonus doctor's joke. An old man wakes up in the morning with a call from his doctor. The doctor tells him that he had bad news and even worse news. What is the bad news? The old man asks. The doctor says,
The lab results suggest you only have 24 hours to live.
The old man asks, What can be worse than that? The doctor responds,
I should have told you this yesterday.
Are you ready for another doctor's joke? A guy had a slight pain in his knee and asked his friend for advice. His friend recommended a doctor who was his relative and said, Trust this guy. I promise that he can get you up on your feet within 2 weeks. Couple of weeks later, the friend called the guy with the knee pain and asked what happened. His friend replied, You were right. I walk almost every day. The doctor charged me a lot, and I had to sell the car to pay for the bills. Now I have to walk everywhere. Here is another joke for you. A man who was a heavy smoker was rushed to the hospital because of a heart attack. The doctor at the ER asked him the question.
Do you smoke?
The man answered, "No, I quit." The doctor said,
That's great. When did you quit?
The man replied, 10 minutes ago when I had this heart attack. It was a funny patient, but in the following joke, it is the doctor's turn to be funny. A patient who was injured in an accident had to go through surgery. A day after the operation, the doctor came to his room and said,
I have good news and bad news.
"Tell me the bad news first," the patient said.
The bad news is we have to amputate both of your legs.
The doctor said. The patient asked, "What is the good news, doctor?" The doctor replied,
The good news is the patient in the next room wants to buy your shoes.
"How about another doctor's joke about the good news and bad news?" An artist was trying to sell his artwork, but he was out of luck. One day, he stopped by the art gallery and asked if any of his paintings were sold. The owner responded,
The good news is all of your paintings were sold yesterday. The bad news is the guy who bought them was your doctor. And he asked if the value of the paintings would go up after you die.
If our jokes made you laugh, please help us grow this channel and subscribe. We are the only funny jokes channel, suitable for families and kids. We only share clean jokes every day. Also, do you have a funny doctor's joke that can make everyone laugh out loud? Then please share it in the comments. We read all the comments and reply.